Hello everyone, this is Jeremy and welcome to episode 14 of Trillionaire, where I have bad news for you. We are somehow not billionaires. It's been about a day since the end of the last video, typically how these recordings go, and yeah, we don't have more money. So I suspect that means our reactor must have shut down. And the only way to check that, well, the easiest way to check that is to look inside. That's a very off reactor. So what happened? My best guess is for some reason, is this entire thing chunk loaded? It is. One thing I never tested was, is this buffer large enough to survive the night? So we have 512,000 plus another 163,000. So it's like 670,000 millibuckets. Let me see if I expect that to be enough to survive a night. At a consumption rate of 30 millibuckets per tick, I would have expected this amount of tritium to last a little bit over 15 minutes, and nighttime in Minecraft is about 7. So, yeah, I see no reason it wouldn't have survived the night. It's conceivable that I never let the buffer build up to the point where it was full, in which case I suppose it might run into issues, but whatever. To fix it, well, the issue kind of fixed itself. There's now a huge lithium backlog here, so, I think if I just start the reactor up again, it should run flawlessly. So to start it up again, we just have to give it another laser pulse. This amplifier seems to have lost its settings. Really annoying. Alright, let me get... Oh wait, no. It just switched its units to joules. Hold on. It is... I guess it matches, yeah. Yeah, so if we give it a 800 RF... or 800 million RF burst... It has a 5-second delay after I hit the lever. Starts running again, and we're off to the races. Alright, well, this thing has to heat up again, and we can start producing energy again, and yada yada yada. But unfortunately, that does mean that basically the last 24 hours, the server was up, and I wasn't making a cent. That's not quite true. We have some money from the farm. Let's check how much that is. I doubt it's the 140 billion we need, though. Gosh, lag. Wait, type sent to... Ah, this is close. Haha, just kidding. I think I'm an order of magnitude off. This is about 17 million, not 170 billion. So, it's tough to read scientific notation sometimes. That's my excuse. Yeah, that was 17 million. We still need over 100 million. Still, the recording this episode will take, you know, hour or 2 or 3, and maybe by the end of that we'll be close to, or if not even at the $1 billion mark. All right, well, in any event, we do have 81 buckets of UU matter here available just for use, so that's all it takes to make Wyvern cores. I mean, it takes 100 millibuckets each, right, to make primal mana. Yeah, so I'm thinking, how do I want to automate this? Or am I content just like handcrafting batches of it? And I think I am just content handcrafting batches. On second thought, it's probably better to be able to automate the entire process, even if it's on-demand work. So the challenge, therefore, is how to deal with these fluids. Now, the Enderium looks like a weird amount. I'm pretty sure that's just a block. So that kind of works out. This is a bucket, but UU matter is 1/10 of a bucket, and there is no convenient 1/10 of a bucket container in this pack. Additionally, Applied Energy 6 just doesn't natively handle fluid amounts in crafting, like, at all. So we have to, well, you don't have to, but it's easiest to work in bucket amounts. So why don't we just multiply this recipe by 10, and then we can encode a recipe to craft 10 Wyvern cores at a time. From 10 buckets of Enderium, we can automatically fill, 10 tanks or 10 buckets or cells of some sort with DT fuel, and 1 cell with UU matter. This is a recipe that I'll be encoding to make Wyvern cores. So 10 cans of liquid DT fuels, a can of UU matter. I chose to use cans because they can hold the fluids and they're non-reusable, so I don't have to deal with like leftover stuff. Buckets can't hold liquid DT fuel for some reason, and the universal fluid cell from IC2 can hold them, but then, I mean, like buckets, you have to deal with the leftover item, so whatever. Cans get melted down in the process. and they're cheap. Anyways, there's a recipe. When I request Wyvern cores, and I've done it once already just to make sure it works, but when I request Wyvern cores, it'll fill the cans from these various sources, so you know they get filled in in the Ender IO tanks. Everything gets dumped into here, where it gets distributed between a couple pressurized fluid tanks to empty the cans out, and the Wyvern core goes directly into, or the Draconic core goes onto the table. The Enderium goes into the smeltery controller. In fact, I don't need that connection. And this smeltery is powered by UU matter because it is a little warm. Call it toasty. So that melts the Draconium, or that melts the Enderium almost instantly. And then the final product, when it alloys, and because it alloys extremely quickly, right? This is like it makes one ingot of primal mana per operation, so it alloys once per tick. And when the alloy is done, that gets extracted via here. The insert side is filtered, so I don't accidentally withdraw the wrong fluid. That gets poured onto the table that has the Draconic core on it, turns it into a Wyvern core, and the Wyvern core at the end gets put back into the ME interface. So I made the smeltery a little bit taller than it necessarily had to be, probably, but it gets the job done. Now we can make Wyvern cores on demand, so let's grab a few of these and complete the quest. Alright, our second endgame quest is done. Going from here, my interest definitely goes towards the transmutation tablet, so let's start looking at that. Next then, we have the Philosopher's Stone. This doesn't look too bad. We can buy we can buy demon metal, we can buy dimensional shards, we can buy a chaos shard, so it's just Galgadorian blocks. I assume this is more or less the standard Galgador recipe. No, this is different. Alright, so we don't need a whole bunch of gas tiers like we normally do. Instead we need... Is this still a bunch of diamonds? Diamonds, obsidian, that's easy. Glowstone, okay. I guess, blaze powder? I don't think I actually have a way to... I don't have auto buyers doing blaze rod / blaze powder yet. So I'll probably have to add one of those. This auto buyer here is just about the last one I can fit into this area here. I'm on my last channel and I'm kind of just out of block space for them. But it will buy blaze rods until we get to 1,000. Super easy. Much easier than making a blaze farm. A Philosopher's Cube takes 28 of these. Whoopsies, not enough obsidian, huh? Alright, let's go bump up the threshold on the obsidian buyer, but... this one, right? Yeah. I just had this set to 2,000. Well, I needed like 5,000? Here, we'll just go to 10,000. And we'll... Oh, you got reset as well. Per tick item... per tick per second doesn't really matter. Dang it, it's doing the thing where it resets all my buyers again. Why? These must have worked, because if they never worked, these drawers wouldn't be full. Every now and then this game... Wait, no, now it's good again, right? I don't understand what's happening, man. Whatever, I'm not going to question it. 28 blocks. Very good. 27,000 bytes. Lots of stuff, but it's almost... it is 100% stuff we can buy. So, hit the buy button. Let the thing do the thing. In the meantime, let's craft the other stuff. That's demon metal, dimensional shards, and a chaos shard. Alright, demon metal. Sure, we'll just buy it. That's enough, right? Then dimensional shards. And a chaos shard. What? It's magic, apparently. How much is that? 1 million? I'll spend 1 million for a chaos shard. Sure beats having to go kill the chaos dragon. Lastly, all we have to do is craft the elite crafting table. So this recipe isn't bad. It's not like the other... Is this a custom recipe? It is. It's not like the normal configuration where the tier 3 table is made from 2 tier 2 tables, it's made from 2 tier 1 tables, yada yada yada. But anyways, we do need a small amount of black iron for this. So we can either trade with the elves or make it the easy way from dark steel. We'll do this. 20 carbon. So I think that's 2 coal or a quarter of a compressed coal to a dark steel, something like that. These infusing factories do so much work at a time that I by and large, never bother automating them. It's all batch craft till the end of the game with them. So, that looks fun. Hey, look, I got my amounts exactly right, too. And a quest. Not interested in that. Make me a crafting table. This one specifically. Oh, one more item. I'm starting to run dangerously low on recipe slots. I have maybe about 16 left on my last row. Whoops. Soon we'll have to add a second tree, just in time for Christmas. Anyways, with that, I should be able to make the crafting table. Good. And for now, we'll just put it right here and make the Philosopher's Cube. Ooh, we're going places. Alright, next up, an energy collector. The only way to get ingredients to craft dark matter beyond is through collectors. Alright, well, not true. We can make Mobius fuel. Wait, can't we go beyond this? Oh, I guess we can't craft. Isn't this a lie? We can craft dark matter out of Eternalist fuel, which we can craft with Mobius fuel. I feel like I'm being lied to. Despite me thinking that I don't actually have to craft this. Whoopsies. I'm gonna make one anyways just to clear the quest. So, right now I'm just doing all the recursive crafting natively in Applied Energistics as like crafting recipes. It is much faster to use an external crafter, so you don't have to keep sending the Philosopher's Stone, in and out like the RF Tools crafter. But meh. Hardly matters. Anyways, that rewards us with the fuel. Cool. So, next quest is to make dark matter. And yeah, I think you're not, at least the quest seems to suggest that you're not about to that you're not supposed to create dark matter through this crafting recipe, but I can't be bothered to wait for the sunlight machine to do it. So I'm just gonna make it the normal way by crafting it. One piece of dark matter coming right up. And then red matter. This is also just crafted from dark matter. This is probably the point where it's actually a little bit too slow to craft it purely in Applied Energistics. Let me show you what I mean. So red matter, use this recipe. If I just encode this like this and request it to be crafted, because I only have one Philosopher's Stone, well, apparently I overcrafted Galvadorian blocks. Oopsies. But anyways, because I only have one Philosopher's Stone, only a single crafter can run at a time. So when I hit this button, I guess it's only going to take 30 seconds. That's not too bad. But yeah, only a single molecular assembler gets to run at any given time. So it takes a little bit longer, but 30 seconds isn't that bad. Just if I have to craft a lot of red matter this way, it'll be much easier to set up an external machine to do it. And after 30 seconds, one piece of red matter. All right, from here we have a couple options. Give me the transmutation table next. Yeah. Let's reconsider that. Give me an energy condenser. That's a bit more reasonable. Yeah, I like this a lot more. All right, I'm gonna actually do what I just avoided doing: set up red matter crafting and all these other matters in a external crafter, because at this point, we're going to have to craft a lot of red and dark matter because we're going to need a lot of energy condensers because they don't have an EMC value. And Mark II energy condensers just, well, hold on. That's not even true, right? Once I make one energy condenser, I can just make red matter blocks out of EMC. Ask Claire, I'm going to set up a crafter for it anyways. The change I have to make to these recipes is to change them from a crafting recipe to a processing and then get rid of the Philosopher's Stone, because I'm just going to leave the Philosopher's Stone in the machine the entire time. So, whoopsies. Yep, those three. And we'll put it into the crafter tier 3 here. Again, I'm guilty of not naming my machine, something I probably should do. But now when I make red matter, the last two steps, red matter and dark matter, don't actually use any don't use the Philosopher's Stone, so I don't have to move them. Anyways, now if I request red matter, let's get 3 more. Lots more coal. Let's bump up our coal threshold. Let's try that again. 3 more pieces. Good. And now this process, yeah, it'll take, 30-ish seconds for all the pieces instead of a little bit over 30 seconds for a single one. At least if that time estimate is right. It'll be close. Actually, the previous crafting steps, that is about as accurate as the time estimate ever will be, because it assumes all crafting steps take the exact same amount of time, which is actually true when you have a single molecular assembler doing 100% of your crafting tasks. One of the components in the energy condenser, I think it's this dust here, high covalence dust. Let's see. Well, so there's three levels, tiers of covalence dust: low, medium, and high. Low is pretty easy to make. It's just coal and some seared stone. You have to resonate the coal, but that's no big deal. Medium is steel and Restonia, super easy. And high is coal, coke, and mana diamonds. But the mana diamonds I don't have much production of yet, so let's just make a bunch by hand right now. Just throw diamonds into a mana pool. Oh, I should not have emptied that mana pool completely. That was foolish of me. Yeah, as long as a mana pool has an ounce of mana in it, you can throw black lotuses into it to like refill it. But if it's completely drained, that doesn't work. So let's get just a tiny bit of mana back into this pool. We can does that burn? That doesn't, right? Here, go. Make me some mana. There we go. Now that there's a tiny bit of mana in there, we can just throw in 2 stacks of Black Lotus, which are pretty loud, but that'll fill up the mana pool completely. With a couple left over. 3, apparently. Anyways, then we can make more mana diamonds. Maybe at some point I'll set up an automated system for keeping mana pools stocked, but if I don't need a lot of, the dust, then I won't bother. I think I've got all the components to make energy condensers, so I can't technically auto-craft it yet, but I am going to encode this recipe for now, just so that I can have the ME system grab all the components for me. I don't have to, make like 6 searches and yada yada yada. But for now, I just have it also dump everything into a chest. And I'll have to manually move stuff from the chest to the crafting table, although that is a step that can be automated later. Alright, here, I guess we can go here. So that'll go into a chest. This is the recipe, and let's try it out. Oopsies, what's it called? Energy condenser. Alright, the energy condenser is the first item that we can make that can convert between various forms of EMC for us, which is why I want it so bad. I have the wrong crafting table. Oops. Alright, let's make a tier 2 crafting table first. Actually, let me try it. Can you do tier 2 crafting recipes? No, you can't. In tier 3? Didn't think so. I have 1 spare assembler recipe slot. Alright, the assembler tree is going to be coming up pretty soon. But that's alright. Let's request this. Most of the components that that make up those assembler trees have an EMC value, so we can just make them much more easily with an energy condenser. And here we go, Mark 1 energy condenser. The Mark 1 is, for 1, a little slow, and for 2, all items are both input and output. So let's actually look towards making a Mark 2. To make a Mark 2, we just need some of this matter stuff, but it takes a... Hold on. You have to use the Mark 1 to craft... So we can just upgrade our Mark 1, right? Yeah. I just have to make some red and dark matter. So what is the item we have that has the most EMC in it, I wonder? I think compressed glowstone is a good EMC source for now, because for 1, we can buy it, and for 2, it has a pretty good EMC per item. So anyways, what we can do is put some of the fuel item in here, and then put the target item up here. So if I want red matter, do that, and then it'll slowly convert, well, maybe not even all that slowly, it'll convert the glowstone into red matter. It's not the fastest, unfortunately. Anyways, I'm going to bump up the threshold on our glowstone buyer here. Actually, hold on. How high does glowstone even go? Can we more than compress it? Yeah, glowstone goes up to double compressed. So I just set up another auto buyer here that buys a lot of glowstone to compress it as an EMC source. Anyways, now that I have 10 red matter, I can turn this into a block. Uh-oh. Is that not how you make red matter blocks? Are they 2x2s? Ah, easy. I'm going to do the same for dark matter real quick. So use U as fuel. Oopsies. That's quick. Now that we've made some red and dark matter blocks, we can take our energy condenser up. And in fact, let's encode this recipe even. We can turn it into, oh, this is just made in a regular crafting grid, into the Mark II energy condenser, which is convenient because it has like separate input and output sides and yada yada yada. This will take up our very last crafting slot. I'll make one Mark II energy condenser. And the way I like to set this up, oh, it's done already, is we put it right next to an interface. How does this work? Grab some fuel, stock up the fuel side. I suppose left side is fuel side. And if I want any items, say I want more interfaces, do these? Oh, those don't have EMC value. What about you? Oh, you don't have an EMC value. You don't have, wait, I thought these things all had EMC values. I've been bamboozled. All right, random example just for demonstration purposes. Say I wanted to make a bunch of signalum ingots. On my energy condenser, I just hook it up to import items into an ME interface very quickly, target this, and bam, I'm producing a stack of signalum per tick. And then when I'm done, it's, you know, all right, that's enough signalum for the rest of forever. And while this is not fully automatic, it can very quickly produce a lot of any single item that has an EMC value. So I don't know. I want rudimentary snares because my aim is really bad with these. Bam. Snares for days. Moving on then, I'm going to defer building that next assembler tower as long as I can. I want to work our way towards the Klein star here so that we can make the dimension builder. Really, notice how everything here has an EMC value except the machine frames, which we can print for a drop of UU matter. Yeah, it's not that bad. All I have to do is get the Klein star omega. So I made Klein star ions, and while you could, basically each of these tiers is like recursively craft from the previous, right? So we have eins, zwei, drei, vier. That's not fünf. That's not how German counting works. But yeah, and then sphere, omega. So while you could craft it all from the beginning, that's just a lot of steps. After each tier, what I'm going to do is just, you know, make a whole bunch of these. And then make me a whole bunch of these. Project E gets a little bit silly if you have infrastructure to make it effectively infinite amount of EMC, which I do. So let the silliness commence. Anyways, once I have one Klein star omega, you know how this goes. Let's get some fuel. In fact, I should set this up to automatically restock fuel, but make me a whole bunch of them. Oopsies, don't burn. Oopsies, I accidentally turned all my cables into something. Whatever. So now we have Klein star omegas. These are pretty expensive. But now with that, we can craft the dimension builder. Da-da-da. Nice. Feels good. All right. Next, let's set up the dimension builder. I want to use it to pump or mine the most valuable thing in the world so that we can sell it. And I believe that is UU matter. Looking at the sellables, UU matter sells for $500 per millibucket. I don't think there's any fluid or block that even comes close to that. On second thought, I find myself asking a very important question. Why? Why am I doing this? My goal is to become a trillionaire, right? But if I'm going to become a trillionaire, we're going to need creative fluids. Like just pumping, I mean, pumping it is good, but it's not realistically going to get me to $1 trillion in a couple of days or even a couple of hours. So if we're going to try to get the creative items, my goal is to make the singularity, because aside from the singularity, everything here, you know, I mean, this even has an EMC value I can make with my eyes closed. So, yeah, if my goal is to make the singularity, more money doesn't help me. So unless there's some very specific reason I need to use a dimension builder, I'm actually just gonna not. I'm gonna set my goal on the creative reservoir, and then later the the next step, the creative tank. All right, so let's rewind a bit. The singularity is only made from 6 singularities, and most of these aren't even that bad. It's 100 items. It's like, come on, this even has an EMC value. So we need a chaotic core, which requires awakened ores and awakened draconium, which is made in block form, and all this has to be done in the combination crafter. All right. While it could be done in the fusion crafter, the combination crafter is just faster, I believe. Is it? Maybe not. Huh. Well, the quests have me go through the combination crafter, so I'm gonna do that. In my never-ending quest to do as little work as possible, I'm only going to expand our assembler setup a little bit, because I honestly don't think we're going to need that many more crafting recipes to beat the pack. So those trees take a lot of manual effort to build. Like, you have to place every block, and then you have to place the accelerator cards in them. It's a lot of clicking, and I'm a lot of lazy. I'll start with 10 pedestals to go with our crafting core. I didn't actually check to see. I mean, I guess we could scroll through this real quick. I didn't see what recipe uses the most items, so I think it's this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jimmy, are you a genius or what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Dang, Jimmy. They don't pay you enough money for this. That was a lucky guess. Anyways, the way it works is that the items, when you use the crafting core, the items that go on the outside go, well, on the outside, and the item in the center goes on the center pedestal. So my plan is I'll supply items from an enemy interface, and we might have to do something weird by to ensure atomicness of the recipes. I haven't quite thought that far ahead yet. But the pedestals can more or less be anywhere as long as they're remotely close to the core. I guess these are not remotely close enough here. I'll move the core instead. I put you here. Do you see them all? Okay, I can't click it anymore. Yeah, and then we just have to pipe power only into the core. So that's one way in which this crafting core is simpler than the Draconic Evolution Fusion Crafter. I actually have rather little experience automating the crafting core like this, so let's do some experimentation. First of all, I noticed that it doesn't emit a comparator signal if it has an item on it or not, so that's a little annoying. But the inventory checker is able to check, so right, no item, has item. All right, so we can detect if there are items on it. Second of all, these all act as single slot input outputable inventories, so the input slot here is outputable as well, whereas in the Fusion Crafter, the input slot is not outputable, so we just have to filter the extract here. So we will want to, eventually I'll set up, this filter will be all the finished products, right? So it'll be like the Awakened Draconia block, for instance. All right, so I have this set up that this center slot is filtered and at a higher priority than all the other side blocks. So if I take these 11 items, which are what normally make Awakened Draconium here, right, heart in the middle, the other stuff around the edges, put it here, it should all get distributed, and it starts crafting. Now, when it starts crafting, this is kind of what I was afraid of. While it's crafting, it's still not emitting a comparator signal. Oh, don't take that out. That makes it a little bit tricky, because then I can't, that makes it trickier to detect when the crafting task is running versus when it's still waiting for items to be withdrawn. Because right now, if I were to request another craft, right, additional items would be inserted. You know what? Let's not deal with that yet. For now, what I'll just do is we can set that. Apparently this is going to have 4 items in it. But let's just decode the recipe for a single craft and request Awakened Draconium blocks no more than 4 at a time. Actually, technically, because Awakened Draconium takes all the slots, as long as I set blocking mode here on, I can request more than 1, can't I? Interesting. Yeah. I think I need to make one small change, and that is that the center item has to be on a separate channel than the all the side items. because there exists a race condition for back-to-back crafting, where if I don't withdraw the center item from like the finished product from the center crafting core, because again the input and output slot share the same inventory slot, right? If I don't withdraw like the heart out of here or the Awakened Draconium out of here in time, there's no guarantee that if everything's on the same channel, the heart doesn't just get inserted into one of these slots because this one is blocked. So I'm using the purple channel for the center, and filtering is done here. So purple channel has center items whitelisted, brown channel has center items blacklisted, blue channel has finished products whitelisted. Anyways, let's test ordering more than... Oh, I guess I have to buy a couple more dragon hearts. They're, what, like $1,000,000 each probably? Not even. 100k each. Give me a stack of them at that price. Oopsies, not a inventory terminal. Alright, yeah, let's see what happens if we order more than one set at a time. So what happens is, because all these blocks are filled up, it's actually these items just chill in here. However, I suspect if I had one more pedestal, in fact, let's test that. If I had one more pedestal, and onto this pedestal I placed one of these items, does that break the craft? Well, hold on. Let's get another Draconic Core. This craft isn't starting now because the Draconic Core required to start it is in my hand. Does that cause it to stop? Oh, no, it doesn't. So we actually can go over the recipe map. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's why the extended crafting is really nice then. The fact that we're allowed to go... Yeah, the fact that we're allowed to go over the recipe map means that I don't have to worry... I mean, yeah, there's the extra item here, but it means that for recipes that don't use every pedestal, I actually don't have to do anything fancy for them, because I can just allow them to insert the extra bits of the future crafts immediately. I hope that kind of makes sense. I couldn't come up with a very clean way to describe the problem I'm trying to solve here, but turns out the problem I was trying to solve is not a problem, so I'm no longer trying to solve it. Anyways, that's Awakened Draconium. Next up, Awakened Cores. Ooh, Nether Stars have EMC. That's nice. Let's buy a few Nether Stars. I guess I have to kill one more Wither. I'm gonna cheat on this Wither even more than... Sorry, Porky. Even more than usual. I'm just having a Mob Crusher kill it. But, oh wait, if I build it here, it might just blow up the Mob Crusher, huh? Let's move it a little bit further. Alright, Mob Crusher. Counting on you. Don't fail me now, because I'm really close to my base, and I don't want my base to get destroyed if, you know, something were to happen. Mob Crusher? Oh no. Oh my gosh. That's not a good sound. The Wither's not dead. Jimmy, what have you done? Jimmy, what have you done? I don't have armor. Alright, let's see if we can go get my stuff and kill that Wither. Apparently it takes the Mob Crusher more than one tick of damage to kill that Wither. Yeah, I learned. Give that to me. Sneak over me? I can't do that. I don't have blocks. And these blocks are affected by gravity. Oh my gosh. Ah! Where's my grave? Mistakes were made. This is what I get for being arrogant. I deserve this. Alright. Armor's on. Now let's go kill that Wither. This thing's just gonna kill me again, isn't it? Food. I've never had so much trouble with a Wither before, I swear. We did it. I hope I didn't blow up anything important. Looks like what happened was the Wither spawn explosion blew up the power cell, or broke the power cell, which caused the grinder to only be able to deal one tick of damage to the Wither, which wasn't enough to kill it. Alright, now that I've nearly lost us the series, let's clone this a few times. Need more EMC. To add a new recipe, I just have to add the items to the filters here. There, and then awaken core goes in this filter because that's the final product. Let's make sure blocking mode is still on. I don't know how that would have gotten changed, but should be able to request an awaken core. Do the thing. Oh, that was fast. You really did the thing. Nice. All right. Well, that gets us within shouting distance of the chaotic core and singularity business, but I think we are also out of time. So let's leave off here for today. Next time we'll come back. I have a sneaky suspicion there's only going to be 1 or 2 more episodes of this series because really, once we get to singularity, like awaken core, chaotic core, singularities, and then I'm not even gonna bother with that. Singularities, ultimate singularity, and creatives. So yeah, we're in the end game. Let's put it that way. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video and the great shenanigans we can do with Project E. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye. Oh, and still not a billionaire.